Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. My name is Raheem Najee out of Atlanta, Georgia, but I got my brother from another mother, but we got the same father here with us. Good morning, Badger. How you doing this morning?
It's another beautiful day.
Yes, Lord, it is. Yes, it is. As cold as it is, it's cold. It's ice cream cold outside, but it's still a beautiful
And
day.
that just means you can always put on more clothes.
Yeah, yeah. Layers. Got to get them layers, brother. Got to get those layers.
It's better than, the heat where you can get naked and it still don't matter.
Ain't nobody talking about getting no naked right here. I don't know where you going this morning, man. You talking about people getting naked now. I don't know
I'm
what the
just
world
talking about
going
the
on
heat
with.
versus the cold, man.
Look, I don't know what's going on with you this morning, man. You may need to go back to bed and wake up again, brother. You don't stepped off the wrong side of the bed this morning. Uh,
I just started drinking my coffee, so hopefully it'll kick in soon.
Yeah, I hope that stuff here will get kung fu kick in because I don't know what you're talking about over there. Kung fu kick. But listen, I want to talk about something, man. And this is something I saw. I don't know if you saw the situation that happened with Ti, the rapper Ti, and his son at the game a couple of days ago, the Falcons game. They got into they was in their box in the club box, um, having conversations, and it got very heated to the point where they had to almost got into a physical fight. Ti had to pretty much restrain his son, and he was talking about he did a video, and I actually saw the video this morning where he was talking about his son, if he don't get it together, if his son don't get it together, that he gonna end up in prison. Ti said, I seen that lifestyle. I seen that aggression. I seen that in a person before. Ti said, as a matter of fact, he said he was that aggressive at one time, and what's gonna happen is, he don't talk to his son. He had a long conversation with his son's mother, with his son's grandparents, and his aunts, and told them that if his son don't get himself together, if his son don't get himself together, he's gonna end up in prison. And the only one that could stop that process is his son. His son name is King. He said the only one that could stop the process is King. And people has been coming, had social something like that, social media get a hold of it, man, and they take what they want to take and say what they want to say. But I applaud in this instance, I applaud Ti because he said he did everything probably that he could do. He's talked to his son. He's told his son about what it is, where he's going to end up if he don't change, if he don't do the things that he needs to do to change himself. That he's going to end up in prison. He's going to either in prison or dead because his son King was very aggressive and said he's going to end up either in prison or going to end up dead. He said he's done everything he could do. And I said all that to say this. Sometimes in life, and it's a sad reality, but sometimes in life, Badger, excuse me, a person have to get burned by their own fire. In order for a person to get it, they have to get burned by their own fire. Now, I don't want the young man to have to go to jail, go to prison, or certainly not to lose his life, but the life that he's living, if he's not careful, just like Ti said, man, that's where he's going to end up, either in prison or dead. What do you say to that? Sometime a person, is unfortunate as it is, or it may sound, sometime a person have to get burned by their own fire before they get it. Do you agree with that, Badger?
Dude, this is one of those categories that I don't even want to give it no foot, no
Mm-hmm.
foothold.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just no reason, even if it's just
Well,
because it's going to be, unfortunately, a lot of people's opinions are going to be on one or the other side.
mm-hmm.
A bit
Well,
of self love, or you need to give him more expressive freedom, or da da da, or da da da. Well, guess what? Either way, everyone there's going to have to deal with a consequence in one way, shape, or form at some point.
mm-hmm.
And while we're sitting there talking about all that junk, there's so much going on in other situations that
Well, Badger,
That's
stay focused, brother. Let's concentrate on this. Let's concentrate on this part that we're talking
it's
about
a
right there.
stupid
And
situation.
there is it's a tricky situation. It's a tricky situation, and there's a lot of layers in it because everybody love their kids, and everybody wants the best for their kids. But this is something that happens all the time, and unfortunately, I think every family has somebody in there that may waver just a little bit. They may waver just a little bit, and so we want to save them. We want to make sure that they're in the best situation. But at the same time, just like I said, man, if a person don't get it and don't wake up and get it, sometimes they have to get burned by their own fire. And unfortunately, prison or death could be the consequence. And so it's something that needs to be talked about, something that have to be addressed.
No, I don't. I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's just to me, a lot of these situations keep happening because it's our society.
Hmm.
It goes from the top to the
I
it
can
goes
agree.
from the top to the bottom.
I can agree, and at the same time, I can disagree because um I think in the instance situation that we're talking about with Ti, he said he's done everything he could do. He had the conversation. He showed him examples, and he's done everything he could do humanly possibly that he could do. Now I can agree with you when you say society because a lot of times his son may be getting caught up in society. So that's why I say I can agree with you, or I can or I can disagree, depending on what's alley and what travel down at this particular time, because I think Ti has done everything he could do, but
So,
society, like you said, is showing his son something different. It's just who his son is going to listen to. Go ahead.
so one of the biggest things I've seen is the lack of accountability.
Hmm.
Now, a parent could truly do the best that they absolutely can, but the kid, as they get older, once they go past a certain age, I'd say about 17ish, especially if they're hanging out with some people that are in the opposite direction of how you would like your household to be uh, run,
Hmm.
and the young man or young woman decides to go along with that crowd, it ain't gonna matter what you say.
Hmm. And that's why I say,
It'll matter after they fall on their face.
sometimes a person got to get burned by their own fire.
Hmm. And it sucks to have to sit there and watch that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yet, seeing how our society is, it's become easier to blame the devil, blame the white person, blame the black person, blame this person, instead of holding yourself accountable. It's almost like holding yourself accountable is the most taboo thing you can say to somebody.
Mm.
It'll
Mm.
get you shot.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
If you
Five.
walk up and go, I know your struggle. Yeah, it's this person's fault. And oh man, that boy, you want to talk about having a good old conversation.
508-924-3521. Give us a call. Tell us what you think about this. We got quite a few people that's tuned in already this morning. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. But give us a call as well. If you have a minute, give us a call. Sometime a person got to get burned by their own fire. Do you agree with that? Joseph, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, and good morning, Morning Glow family. How are you this morning,
Hey,
Brother Raheem?
hey, doing great, man. How you doing?
Doing good,
Good,
doing good.
good deal. Joseph, did you hear the story I told about Ti and his son? Did you hear that part?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yes. I heard that part, and I
Hmm.
and I heard what Mr. Badger said as well. He made some good points.
Hmm.
We have to accept. We have to, have accountability of ourselves and our actions. And there's some things in life that we uh, uh, can wrap ourselves into. I mean, we could be victims of our own decisions and our own behavior. And yes, sometimes you got to get burnt by your own fire to realize, that you're going to the extreme.
Hmm.
And yet, life is not that simple because there are external forces
Yes, yes.
that could affect you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to choose one or the other. Choose all of them. You have to deal with all of them. This is life.
Yeah.
Life
Yeah.
happens. It's not scripted. It
Mm-hmm.
happens. I
Yes.
was born in 1959. You know what was going on in 1959, don't you?
Mm-hmm. A lot.
I mean, 8 years later, Dr. King was killed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have nothing to do with all that. I was born in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't blame white folks, but hell ain't no fool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't, it's not that simple. It's not that cut and dry. Now, as far as raising our kids, I think if we create an environment for that child to come into, since as Brother John Locke said, the one who penned that part of our preamble that says all men are created equal.
Mm.
That John Locke, he said also that babies come into the world, as it were, with a blank chalkboard.
Mm.
And people begin to write on that chalkboard.
Uh-huh.
In other words, our experiences is the subtotal of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So when you bring a child into an environment and it's not a very nourishing environment, or there's some things out of place, that child, don't get mad when that child gravitates toward that. If you use a lot of profanity around that child and that child grew up cursing, and then before you know it, that child want to be bad and get out in the community and show how bad he is and get shot. Well, you kicked it off when you started with the profanity. Why didn't you teach him good vocabulary so he could learn in school?
Mm-hmm.
You chose to teach him how to curse. And then if you puffing on your weed around the child, okay, don't get mad when that child starts slanging dope.
Yeah.
All right. So you help develop that. Don't we as parents have responsibility. So I'm responsible for my decisions for myself and for my family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll leave that right there.
And you put a lot out there, brother. You put a lot out there. And so the main thing that I heard that you said is responsibility. We have to take responsibility and guide our children in a certain way. And even though I do agree with what you said, I know that there's the other side of the coin, because sometimes I've seen people that has done everything they could possibly do the right way, way, and try to put all the good ingredients in their children, but somehow the children go in a negative direction. Maybe it's the environment, maybe it's the culture, maybe it's the people that they're dealing with, maybe it's whatever it is. But they had great parents, but still end up dead or in prison for a long time, or on drugs or whatever.
I heard this too, Raheem. You know why they say the preacher kids so bad, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They hang around the deacon kids. No, this kid. but yeah, man. I've seen preachers' kids, man, grow up to be the worst jokers that you ever want to meet.
Mm-hmm. 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 Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. We're talking about sometimes a person got to get burned by their own fire. And I'm using the example of T.I. and his. And I'm not trying to make it like T.I. and Tiny are the best parents in the world. I don't know the parenting. I don't know how they parent the kids. I'm sure there's some things I may agree with, and there's some things I may disagree with. There's some things in T.I. life that, I'm sure that he wish he had not done, and some of the things he's still doing. So I'm not gonna say I'm not sitting on here trying to put a magnifying glass on them as parents or have their parent. But what I am saying is this situation that happened with their son, King, the name is King, that happened with their son over the weekend at the Falcons game. That was totally out of control. His son totally lost it, to the point where T.I. had to grab him and put hands on him and say, and in that thing that they were doing, T.I. kept saying, man, you can't do nothing with me. He used little other expressions. He said, ain't nothing you can do, man. You can't handle me. You can't do nothing with me, man. And he had to explain to his son, let his son know that, hey, bro, you ain't that grown yet. You ain't that grown yet. And so T.I. made a video, and like I said again, I saw the video this morning where he was talking about all y'all coming to me telling me about my son. I know my son. I've been knowing, know my son his whole life, know who he is, know what's in him. And he said, if we don't get it right, if we don't get himself together, he said, and T.I. was saying about the how he's expressing himself. He said, I've seen that anger. He said, I used to have that anger. He said, if King don't get it together, if he don't get it together, he's gonna end up either in prison or he said he's going to prison or he's gonna end up dead. He said, I've talked to his mama, his grandmama, and his aunts, and told him, and he said, I talked to King, and I told him the only one could stop that path is you. And that's the truth. Only one could stop that path is him. He have to take responsibility for his life. He have to stand up and be the man that they hopefully raised him to be. See, I said, this man, he got everything that he needs. And yet he want to walk in and act like he a thug and all that stuff, man. You don't even live that life, bro. You don't even live that life, man. You live on the rich side of the town, man, in a gated community. But yet still, you want to make people think that you come out the projects, man. You ain't never seen the projects. But anyway, Tucson, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I'm good.
Tucson, we're talking about somebody. Sometime a person got to get burned by their own fire, and that's what T.I. said about his son. His son got to get burned by his own fire. What do you say to that, Tucson? Do you agree with that?
A lot of times people don't see when you're telling them. They got to face it.
Yeah.
To believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And find out they ain't gonna be able to handle it. Yeah, it happens a lot, and it happens more so now than ever.
Mm-hmm.
We live in. I think that for the most part, I think that some of our young folks, and some of them old and got old already, and they think their parents, or they think we are, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell them nothing. They know everything.
Everything.
They can create their own world, and so they just have to learn the hard way.
Tucson, sometimes they know everything twice.
Yeah. So I don't, some people that you try to talk to, and you listen to them out talk you, I stop talking to them.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell them nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of what I'm hearing. Because I don't, I saw the video, and I don't do the celebrity thing. I care less what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They're not advisors.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, they try to live that life.
Exactly.
And we make a big deal, but we live that every day. We try to give out some of our kids. I'm not mine. I thank God for that. Some of our kids, we try to give them everything.
Mm-hmm.
4 and 5 year old, we're setting them up for disaster.
Yes, sir.
They got a cell phone,
mm-hmm.
a tablet,
mm-hmm.
and they're still peeing in the bed.
Yeah.
And then when they grow up and they get 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, then you hear them talking like they're grown.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they want to live that life of a movie star.
Yep, exactly.
A dream life.
Mm-hmm.
And before you know it, if they don't change their direction, we saying to them the same thing T.I. saying to his kids. If you don't change your ways,
mm-hmm.
you're going to wind up either dead or in prison.
Yep.
Because they live that fast life.
Exactly.
You can't keep up a fast life. Because that's not reality. It really ain't. Everybody's not playing that, running that game.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't play that game at all. So when you face it, the real world, people ain't gonna play with you.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking in on the job today, and I could hear the security guard talking to somebody. Give me your badge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Give me that badge right because you come on the job and we got security because this is a facility that you can't bring that out what you do outside.
Yeah.
in here
Yeah.
because it don't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So when you run that game, you try to play that game. What they do is they tell you, okay, we can't have that. Surrender your badge right here. You
Mm-hmm.
go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if the security guard is talking to him like that, what's
Something
going
went
to
on.
happen with whoever that was? I'm just listening. Whatever, whoever that was, security has to come to them and talk to them like that. Sooner or later, they're gonna call PD.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, where you going?
Yeah. Yeah. You gonna give up your badge in one way or the
Your
other.
everybody's on fire.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, he gonna get it. He gonna give it up
Mm-hmm.
because we
Mm-hmm.
can't have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's another thing, and I know I'm way out of time. Thank you for that, Samis. When you get in prison, that them the real bad boys, they gonna show you
Mm-hmm.
who you really are.
Exactly.
And you ain't
Exactly.
gonna have daddy to save you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ain't nobody. Now it's you against the world. Now it's really you against the world. It's really you against the world. Badger, what do you say to that, man? And like we said earlier, this is Way Out Wednesday. We're gonna be all over the place. So I should have gave my disclaimer this morning. This being Way Out Wednesday, we don't have a topic. We talk about whatever we want to talk about. We open up the conversation. If you have anything going on in your life and you want to talk about it or discuss it with somebody, you can give us a call, 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Badger, sometime a person got to just get burned by their own fire in order to get it. You hope that they get it. You hope that the fire don't consume them, but sometimes they got to get burned by that fire to realize, yeah, that fire really, that really is hot. Hot. That is hot.
And I've seen some people that get burned by their own fire, and it don't help them at all. They still choose to be that same old way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a crazy one.
Mm-hmm.
A crazy situation to observe.
Yeah.
You know, I mentioned earlier about, you know, the issue of blaming everybody else. Make sure I'm clear on that too. There's a lot of things in our society that plays a large factor in some of our struggles, some of the things that we're having to fight for, and things of that nature. But it's that responsibility that I know so many people do their best to teach. I just a situation I was telling you before, right?
Uh-huh.
About a personal matter.
Yeah.
I don't want to say no names or
Yeah.
anything like
That's
that.
good. That's good.
Where there's this younger person doing the best they can, and they end up having to deal with their own fire. But
Mm-hmm.
this fire is a medical issue, and then hearing the people around them, belittle them, call them lazy, call them no good, and all these other kinds of things. Well, you can sit there and watch them doing the best that they can.
Mm-hmm.
If you take that and you see that happen a lot, right? Have you seen that happen a lot?
I've seen it. Now, and I'm not gonna say a lot, but I've seen it.
So it, it happens to a good amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the other young folks, or even younger people observing these kinds of things. What kind of what kind of mental is that showing them?
Mm. Mm.
Like to seriously, like, you said there's multiple layers, and I'm just sitting here and I'm looking at all the pages of this story. What all could be driving the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all this news coming out about how music in the music business, how it's ran by a certain group of people, and this and that, and so on and so on. There is so much anger and animosity going on that I feel if a person isn't given the tools of how to deal with it at a young age, they end up being pretty violent.
Mm-hmm. It has a potential, absolutely.
Because
That's the direction it can go in. Mm-hmm.
because it almost feels like, in many ways, it's so hard to, or at least the perception of doing the right thing is so hard to actually make sure that you're living, that you almost have to do the wrong things unless you get lucky to actually get ahead.
Let me go to Curtis this morning. We got a couple of people on the phone. I'm coming to each and every one of you. Curtis, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
How's it going, big bro?
Hey, doing good, brother. We talking about that situation that happened with T.I. and his son King over the weekend at the Falcons game, and they, it got out of order, out of control, to the point where T.I. had to, pretty much put hands on him and say, son, you ain't that grown yet. You can't handle me. And he used a couple other choice words that we can't use here, but he said, you can't handle me. You ain't that grown yet. Ain't nothing you could do to handle me. And then T.I. did a video that I saw this morning about that incident. And he was explaining how, he said, people always coming to me telling me what I need to do with my son. He said, I know my son. I know my son. I know who he is. He said, I've seen that aggression before. He said he used to have that aggression himself. And he said he had a conversation with his son, King. And he said, look, only thing gonna happen to you, man, with that aggression, you're gonna end up in prison. You're gonna end up in prison, or you're gonna end up dead. He said, I talked to your mama, talked to your grandma, talked to your aunts, and told them the same thing. He said, only thing gonna happen is you either gonna end up prison. He said, he going to prison, or you're gonna end up dead. Because that aggression, he said, T.I. explained how he used to have that same aggression. And, he said that's just the path that his son is on for whatever reason. He said he's done everything he could do. He said, I laid everything out for him. Gave him the best life that he could live. But he want to be like he coming from the hood, but he live in a gated community. And T.I., in that instance, I'm saying that sometimes, and it's unfortunate, very unfortunate, but Curtis, sometimes a person got to get burned by their own fire. What do you say to that? Curtis, you there?
Yeah, I'm here right here. My bad. I hit the mute button.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you gotta spend a couple nights or a couple years in the prison that you built for yourself.
Mm.
We could call it what we want to call it, but that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you keep throwing bricks at the penitentiary, not even realizing that you're building your own cell.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, you're going to build it to its full, and you're going to take a trip. I don't really know what happened, but what I do know is I'm not going to speak. I wouldn't be so quick to speak on how this man raised his kids, or even speak on how much of his kids he knows. Because he right, like, look, I know my kids. I seen that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what happened, bro. You hit me with some new news.
Yeah, they had a big incident at the Falcon game over the weekend in their club box and everything, and it got out of control, and it got to the point where T.I. kept saying, man, you're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing the family, man. He said, and I heard him, he said it so loud and so clear. He said, you're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing yourself. Man, you're embarrassing the family. You're embarrassing the family. But King wouldn't stop, man. And to the point where, he had to, grab and had to, go at it a little bit. And you heard T.I. in the background talking about, man, you can't handle me, man. Ain't nothing you could do. Ain't nothing you could do to handle me, man. You ain't ready for that. And so, and at social media, when they get a hold of something like that, they're gonna take it all over the place. They're gonna put all kind of spins, all kind of stuff on it. And I'm not here to say what type of parent that T.I. and Tiny is. I don't know. I don't know what kind of parent they are or what kind of parents they are. But at the same time, I know that all parents want the best for their children if they're good parents. and I'm sure they want the best for their son, man. But they see that he's going in a very negative, spiraling in a very negative direction. So what are you to do?
But at the end of the day, man, you know what? We gotta get out of this habit of Monday night quarterbacking, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if the man daddy, this is just my opinion. If the man daddy is telling him, hey, boy, you know, you might want to cut back a little bit, you know, fall back, yo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You doing ain't a good look right now. And he insisting on going on and doing what he want to do. At some point, as a father, you gotta back. Okay, he trying to wear his big boy panties. Okay, so let me show him what it means, or what being a big boy is supposed to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can't fault that man for checking his son. That's his son.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? However he's supposed to do it. You know what I mean? Like, we love to talk about, you know what I'm saying, folks after a situation has happened. But at the same time, man, like, you can't really keep going that, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Shorty probably was out of bounds, and T.I. saw something that really made him say, okay, hold on, nah, this is getting out of hand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He ain't the only one in our family.
Exactly.
You know?
Good deal. And that's what I think it is. Hold on, Curtis. Don't go nowhere, man. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Well, thank you.
Cassandra, and this situation happened over the weekend, and it's been blowing up on social media. Everybody's actually talking about it. I've seen a couple
He should have clocked him. He should have knocked him out if necessary.
You saw the video?
Because that's his child. He has been through a lot with that boy. He told him he was going to go to jail. He ended up going to jail because he would not listen.
Yeah.
And we have kids, most of us. You know what? Anybody on here who has, especially teenagers, and they ain't never had no problem, thank God, do a holy dance right now.
Yes,
I mean, go ahead and do your dance.
Yes, Lord.
Because you are blessed.
Yeah.
And you can be the best. Let me tell you, you can be the best parent that you know how to be. And your children can grow up and become teenagers or whatever and do what the heck. Do what the heck they want to do after all you've done, after all you've tried to do. So, and I've been there personally. I've done the best that I could. So I don't even, nobody better not come and tell me nothing but, well, you shouldn't put your hand on them. You shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have. No. Your kids make choices. And let me tell you, my children in their 40s, and I dare them to raise up at me because somebody's going to be knocked to the floor. I'm going to tell you right now. And they know that. My kids are grown, and they know that. They got kids that are grown.
Yeah.
But they better not raise up to me, because if they do, I'm going to put them on the floor. There's a thing called respect. There are lines that you do not cross. And if you cross them, be prepared to pay the consequences for what you do. So, you know, all of those that say, well, you just need to talk to. No. Every kid don't understand you just talking to them. Boy, see, it's too early. That's all I can say.
Exactly.
It's too early, Raheem. It's too early. I'm telling you, it's too early.
And sometimes you look at your children and you're like, man, what do you come? What is going? What are you thinking?
Man,
what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Been there, done that. And I'm talking, I used to bust my behind working 2 jobs sometimes trying to make it right for your children. I mean, come on. It don't matter sometimes to your kids. It don't matter. And so they want to look at the parents like, well, the parents need to go to jail. What the hell you put me in jail for? I didn't do nothing.
Exactly.
I raised them right.
Yeah.
They made a decision. Because you know that's a thing now too. Blame the parent. Anytime the kids do something, you're going to blame the parent. Well, where the parents at? Well, dang it, I was at work.
Yeah, exactly.
And he decided to act a fool.
Yep.
Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you want me to do? You want me to sit at home so you can talk about me and say I'm lazy, this, that, and the other, and don't work trying to watch your, even if you sit at home, they go to school.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
You still got issues.
Mm-hmm.
Man, listen, I ain't a good one to talk to about that, because people with that judgment spirit, like you know what's going on with other people's children, just shut your mouth. You have no clue. It ain't your doggone child.
508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. Sometimes as unfortunate as it is, sometimes, you know, a person got to get burned by their own fire. They created their fire. They got to get burned by it. And like I say, even this situation with T.I. and King, you know, T.I. has provided, I got to sneeze, y'all, excuse me. T.I. has provided a great lifestyle, a great life for his children and all the stuff that he's done. He's made, you know, people talking about money and all this. He made money, living in a nice home and nice community and all these different things. But yet and still, even in that, this child is acting like this, to the point where T.I. said he's going to prison. I'd have done everything I could do. He's going to prison. He's going to prison, or he's going to be dead, because he said, I've seen that aggression. I know that aggression. He said, I used to be that aggressive. I used to be that. And I know what it leads to. He said he's seen it many times before. Unfortunately, now he has to see it in his own son. And he's trying to talk to his son. He said, I had conversations with him. I had conversations with his mom. I had conversations with his grandmama and his aunts. I've had conversation with them, and I told them that if he don't get it together, it's up to him. It's really up to him. He's driving his own bus. It's just, where's he going to park it at? Where's he going to park that bus? And that's the thing. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. But I think we got Brother Jay. Brother Jay, you with us, brother?
Joyful Jay is on. How's everyone? Good day. Good morning, bro family.
Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
I am truly blessed and highly favored. But how is everyone else?
Hey, doing great,
I miss you guys.
Hey, miss you as well, brother. Miss you as well. What do you say to this, man? The situation with T.I. and Tiny, and T.I. and his son, King. And sometimes a person have to get burned by their own fire. Sometimes a person just got to get burned by their own fire, man. What do you say to that, Joyful Jay?
I've got plenty to say, but I'm going to keep it short because I know we're on a time frame. That's one of the main reasons I called in today. I listen to you often.
Yes, sir.
Just because I'm not, communicating doesn't mean I'm not listening. However, today you really struck my heart because I see myself in that young man King.
Wow.
Meaning, when I was, a little older than him, I believe. I'm talking about my car accident again. People would tell me, "Listen, Jawan, you're doing great. You're working hard and all this, but your drinking is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real problem. You're going to end up killing yourself or killing someone else or hurting yourself."
Mm-hmm.
And I took it for granted. I said, listen, I'm invincible. I'm 26 years old. I'm a young man. I look good. All the women is on me, all the other things. And I love God. So I'm doing things my way and I'm having it my way and I'm indestructible.
Mm-hmm.
Until that day, my
Wow.
God in heaven, I'm going to cry. Until that day, August 16, 2006, when I came back from a trip that I did with work, and I had a lot of money in my pocket. And of course, I'm with my boys, and I want to go out and drink and have fun and party, neglecting what my mother, my aunts, my godmother, my brothers, and everybody else would say to me, "Jawan, you drink too much. You take it too far.
Yeah.
You're doing too much, trying to be cool with your friends, trying to be accepted by people who don't really love you anyway."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nevertheless, I get back home from where I was, and one of my so-called best friends said, "All right, Felony," because that was my nickname, "you always get us drunk when you come out. Tonight we want to get you drunk." And men in their pride. I'm trying to be quick.
Mm-hmm.
So men in their pride, I said, "Listen, I've been drinking since before drinking was drinking. You can't out-drink me." I then they proceed to feed me or give me the drinks that I had. And I don't know if you guys know how much liquor is in one Long Island iced tea, but I had 7 of them.
Good Lord. Woo!
and then I had 3 151s.
Mm.
I was a drinker,
Whew.
man. I'll say it that way. Thank be unto the Most High that after I burnt myself because I was in an accident. Now I feel the pain every day and arthritis, and I'm not able to work because of my decisions. So again, I had to burn myself before I woke up, and now I'm living wholeheartedly for God.
Mm. Mm.
But sometimes it takes that thing. You know, the Bible tells us pride comes before the fall.
Yes, sir.
We're so prideful that, you know, we're indestructible. We're young. We got long life to live. We just take our inhaling and exhaling for granted until it's snatched away from you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or until it's hard to do.
Yeah.
It's very difficult when you have gout. If anybody who has gout, to stand on your foot, let alone put any pressure on it.
Mm.
I have that. I have arthritis. I have brain injuries. I have arthritis. It's so much I have, but it's because I burnt myself, y'all.
Wow. Wow.
I'm just saying that I pray for the young man King because, again, he has it all. Everybody who knows about T.I. knows that T.I., he came from the streets, but he got money now because of what he does. And he's taking care of his kids. He's a good father, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Gives his kids everything they want, and he tries to be a role model to them. But some people, like I did with my mom provided, and even though I was old enough, I knew that I could always have mom or grandma babysit the kids while Jawan went out and party.
Mm-hmm.
I did all those things, not realizing I was burning myself.
Yeah.
And so I pray for T.I. and his son, and I pray they get it together because sometimes we wake up when it's too late.
Yeah.
And that's what I have to say on the matter.
Good deal. Good deal. Joseph, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, I think I love my brother's testimony, man. I think he said it best. Sometimes when you don't listen, then you have to, just run the course and come to that dead end. I like what that scripture says. It says, instructions are the ways of life. And I remember when I first read that scripture, man, I was in Germany, and I meditated on that. Somebody gonna tell you what to do. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care if you go run that red light, and the police pull you over. He gonna tell you what to do. Okay, you go to job, they're gonna tell you what to do. Instructions is the ways of life. Now we might not want to hear it, we might not want to heed it, but instructions is the way of life. That is the way to prosperity, good health, and so on and so forth.
Yes, yes.
So, when people take it upon themselves to just have no guardrails, no boundaries, oh boy, man, I'm like that brother. I thank God for Jesus. Now I don't know anybody's religion. That's all right, but that's my religion.
Yeah.
I thank God one day I asked Christ to come into my life. I thank God for that day because that changed everything for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
My thinking, the way I was thinking, the way I was going, man, the road I was on. So, instructions is a way of life, man.
Exactly.
That's all I had.
Good morning, baby. Yeah, I was addressing TikTok over there. My daughter said good morning, so I had to say good morning back to her. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? Because this fire, man, it can, if you're not careful. We're talking about sometimes a person got to get burned by their own fire, and that's true. Sometimes that fire can consume you to a point where there's almost no return. I say almost no return. Cassandra, coming to you next. Tucson, what's on your heart?
I mean, it starts off good, and you gain confidence after you how you used to. You kind of like riding the bike with your hands off the handlebar.
Yeah.
And you get used to it, and you're good at it until you go to turning or you hit a rock, and then you lose. It just automatically lose control. What
Yes,
I like the way Curtis put that is that we build our own self, throwing rocks at the prison.
Yes. Yes.
It won't have, just like the first hit. It's free
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
till you need the second one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Alcoholics didn't plan on that. Didn't see that coming. Neither did a person that is addicted to anything. Didn't see that coming.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed like it was so fun on the outside looking in,
Yes.
and the street game seemed so courageous.
Mm-hmm.
To be the bad dude. You ever? I know we all been there. I think I don't know if everybody been there, but every once in a while the bully meets a guy that ain't gonna take it.
Yeah. Yeah. They go fight back.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side of that coin is, I know that we live in a delicate society, but I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but we can't allow our kids to live a shelled life, that we protect them in everything. Oh, don't say that. Oh, sit down, Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be okay. They talk to you. Don't you feel bad? Don't you cry? Sometimes you need to say, boy, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Stop that crying. Because we live in a mean world. And we got to prepare our children, our young folks, for a mean world, not one kind, because it ain't going to get no better.
Mm-hmm.
People are mean and hateful. And here we are offended by anything. Oh, they call me silly. And you crying?
Yeah. You better suck it up. What's wrong with you?
You crying?
Mm-hmm.
My son, I saw it. I guess I saw it coming. My oldest, and I took them clothes out of that drawer and out of that closet,
Mm-hmm.
and I put them at the door.
Mm-mm.
Because I'm not gonna let you hang out. He used to hang out and let the young boys come by the house and they hang. I said, he can't. What y'all doing? Oh, we just chilling. No, he can't chill with y'all.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
So I think that's the best thing I did for him, because he had to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I shook his hand. I'm gonna stay with my grand. Oh, okay. I brought him to Louisiana, shook his hand, and I said, son, I hope you make it. And gave him one dime.
Uh-huh. Lord Jesus.
Yeah, I did that.
Mm-hmm.
I sure did,
Yeah.
because I would rather him see that he got to do something rather than him hang with the boys. And most of them that he used to hang with saw the prison cells. Not him. No, sir.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Wow. Mm.
It might have seemed like it was a bad thing to do, but I look at it now, and it made the difference.
It worked out for the good. It worked out for the good. Absolutely. Cassandra, talk to me. Cassandra, got another caller. Going to come to you in just 1 second, caller. Cassandra, talk to me.
Yeah, because sometimes we have to take drastic, like T.I. said, I know my son. Sometimes you have to take drastic measures with your children, and then they make the choice from then on. You know, once you've done all that you can do, and I'm talking about good parents. I ain't talking about parents that, let their child do whatever they want to do. They don't care about them. I'm talking about parents that actually love their children and do the best that they can.
Yes.
Once they have stepped outside, those guidelines, because you're not staying in my house. That is just not going to happen. If you that grown, go ahead, get your own place with no money and no job. Go on, do it. I know you can do it. Get your own place and live the life that you want to live.
Yeah.
And this is crazy because somebody, Tucson just mentioned shelter. I was with somebody last night and they were talking about their 17-year-old nephew that they live with the parents and his mother and father. The child is homeschooled. I have nothing against homeschooling. Let me make that plain.
Yeah.
I was a teacher. I understand some parents need to do that. But let me tell you something. When you totally shelter your child, they don't have any social interaction. They're not doing sports. They're not doing anything outside your home. They just sitting in front of a computer
Mm-hmm.
day in and day out. I'm telling you right now, you are looking for trouble. Expect it, and as a counselor, and Kurt might can speak on that. Over sheltering is just as bad as under sheltering.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand? You
Mhm.
can build. In fact, you can literally build a monster by over sheltering a child.
Wow.
Because when they get out there, guess what? They bat wild and just raising hell and trying to experience everything. I mean everything.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to college, and I'm gonna end with this. When I went to college, I watched the girls that were like, I'm gonna say I'm using Pentecostal. The ones that was holy rollers.
Yeah.
What? What?
It was out there.
Them chicks got in what?
Mm.
Them chicks got in college and the parents ain't nowhere around and they in them dorms. Oh my God. They were having more sex and drinking and acting a fool because you thought you were protecting them because you didn't let them do anything social, and now you created a monster.
They giving it up out of both legs and a shoe.
Hello.
Lord.
Hello.
Leonard, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, in the Morning Glow family.
Leonard, we're talking about the situation. I'm sure you've seen it, man, because it's all over social media. The situation that happened between T.I. and his son King, and how and I was just looking up some stuff, and they said that it started when and I certainly wasn't out there. I'm looking at the videos and stuff, but they're saying that it started when King supposedly pushed Tiny, and that's when T.I. went at him when he pushed her. But it said that they was going back and forth, and to the point where T.I. had to put his hands on him, had to look at and told him, man, look at, you ain't that grown yet, brother, you ain't that grown, and had to let him understand. And then I saw another video this morning where T.I. was saying everybody's talking about how his son is, and he know his son, and blah blah blah. He went through the whole spiel, and he said in a nutshell, he said that his son, if he don't straighten himself up, he's gonna end up either in prison, or he's going to prison, or he's gonna be dead. He said, T.I. said, I talked to his mom, talked to his grandmother, his aunts, and I talked to King, and I told him that he's seen this aggression. He used to be aggressive like that himself, and so he recognizes it, and that's what's gonna happen. And so we're talking about today, Leonard. Sometimes a person have to get burned by their own fire. What do you say to that?
I'm all for it 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not the object is to grow up.
Yeah.
And I heard about that issue with T.I., but I'm sure T.I. can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
But his son has the opportunity and is exposed to a very well-known rapper.
Yeah.
That's a whole different dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
This boy's in front of TV. He got these huge footsteps that his dad have in front of him, and his mom is being entertainers. So that's contributing to a lot of that particular young man's issues. But if you got a young man in your house right now,
mm-hmm.
you know how they act.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you have to put a lot of force on a boy.
Mm-hmm.
Because he'll start thinking that he equal to you.
Yeah.
There's this notion that you so equal and everybody's so equal is irresponsible. Because you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're in somebody else's house.
Yeah.
So that whole dynamic is a little different for him, but I think T.I. will handle it like he's handled most things, like he said. That's his son regardless. He made that monster. He know that monster.
Mm-hmm.
He watched that monster grow up. Now, I seen another clip of his other daughter. Beautiful little girl, so talented, can sing. She'll probably be great. But he's right about that boy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because there's only two places where that type of behavior is tolerated. In the cemetery and in the jail.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I was, this whole notion that, oh, everything's so new, and no, it's not. No, it's not. Everybody on this phone was 15, 16 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and you knew right from wrong. And you have to teach those kids that same thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame. Some of them you have to break them before you can make them. You understand?
Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm.
Like I said, everybody don't have it as easy as my mother had it,
Mm-hmm.
because I understood the blessing, and I was so grateful when I was a little boy to have somebody put a roof over my head, food on my table, and clothes on my back.
Mm-hmm.
I grasped that concept as a very little boy. And I wasn't a man until I could do that for myself.
Mm. Mm.
My mother made that clear. So I never had a crossword with her. Rarely ever would I ever break her rules
Mm-hmm.
in her house. My dad died young. Right when I turned 16.
Mm-hmm.
But even before that, he never had to lean on me, because I understood I wanted to be responsible for myself.
Yeah.
If I get in trouble, what you calling my mother for?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You ain't old enough to even get in trouble if they got to call somebody else to see about you.
You say he ain't old enough to be in
When
trouble?
I run to my mother for what?
Yeah. Yeah. Good deal.
I call my mother, hey, Ma, how you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Every Sunday. If the check stop coming, I'm dead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
So this notion to give a child a stage to act out on, that's
Mhm.
what he gonna do.
Yeah, you're right about that. Hold right there, Leonard. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We're talking about this morning. We're going to switch up the topic in a second. But we're talking about this morning. Sometimes you got to get burned by your own fire. You created that fire. Like Curtis said, man, you throw enough rocks at the stones, whatever, at the jail, you creating your own cell. Oh, you're going to be there. Oh, you're going to be there. Badger, talk to me. Kurt, come to you next.
I mean, this whole fire thing, man, it's just, you gotta hit every situation separately. In the situation we're talking about, over a clip of some musician, what is he, a rapper or something?
Mm-hmm. Family issue. Yeah, it was a family issue. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really put a lot of things into things like that, or the Kardashians and all that other mumbo jumbo.
Badger.
They're human beings that have lives. They're gonna have struggles.
Mm-hmm.
This situation, this kid is acting out, being a fool, and the dad's just calling him out. The kid decided to put it on live Instagram. It's becoming some kind of normal thing where you stand against the authority and all that other kind of crazy stuff.
I think we're
But
tying. I think from where we're coming from the conversation that we're having this morning, I think right now we're tying other things into it. We're talking about situations, real life situations that happen. Has nothing to do with the fact, well, in a roundabout way, I guess it does, but has nothing to do with him being T.I. something. We're talking about the situation that happened, and sometimes a person have to get burned by their own fire.
yeah,
It could have been Jimmy down the street.
yeah, but
Sometime if the children
that's what I'm saying.
if the children build a fire, sometimes they got to get burned by their own fire. So let's not put too much emphasis on the fact that it's tight, T.I. and Tiny or nothing like that. Let's not emphasize, because I don't know what kind of parents they are. I have no idea, but I know situations. Go ahead.
And that's the thing to me, is it can happen in anyone's house. It can happen in any situation. I mean, there's a situation I'm dealing with where the kid, I know the parents doing the best they absolutely can, and the kid's acting, hanging out with the wrong kind of group, the wrong kind of people,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all it's taken. And that kid's making some decisions that are very, very questionable.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, at what point do you step back a little bit and just, watch them fall? At what age, do you, like, where's the age? Do you do it to your 10 or 11-year-old or 12-year-old, or you put your foot down harder? You know, or wait until they get 14, 15, 16 and just let them fall flat on the face. Like I've
I'm a,
heard so many.
I'm a
Huh?
Barney Fife. I'm a Barney Fife type of dude, man. I believe to nip it in the bud. As soon as you see it, nip it in the bud, man. Nip it, nip it, nip it. Because if you wait till
Well,
15, 16, 17 years old, sometimes you waited too long.
man, there is so much going on. I honestly think in this day and age, sometimes the answer is what a lot of people don't like, and the ability to do it is a lot harder for some than it is others.
Okay, that's good. Curtis,
Like I'm very public anything right now, just social media, public schools, and things of that nature just seem to be going down the toilet.
but see, even with that, you cannot, and like somebody was saying, I can't remember exactly who said it, but you cannot isolate them either. If you, I
No, I
think
agree with that too.
Yeah,
You
Cassandra was saying
just
that you can't isolate them because now you're creating a bigger monster.
I just don't think in our current society that the best we can do is what's within our, you know, within our property lines.
Mhm.
Because once you leave the property lines and things get absolutely nuts.
Good deal. Curtis, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart? Toussaint, you up next.
I hear the conversation. Cassandra, let me address something Cassandra said. But she's spot on. And this is not, I'm not saying that all. So let's go on, remove that from the lexicon now. I'm not saying all. But there are studies that show that those who put a lot of emphasis on homeschooling, you could be creating a sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a certain level of social interaction that every human must have beyond his parents. Notice I said beyond his parents.
Mm-hmm.
There is a certain amount of social interaction that every human must have, especially those who are deemed spectrum autistic or Asperger's. If they never get the chance to experience life outside of a home and the caretakers pass on, you may find yourself in a conundrum because they haven't had any kind of social interaction skills. So they have no concept of what is right and what is wrong in society. They don't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've been a caretaker for it. So I've seen this with my own two eyes. So Cassandra was right. Now, I'm not saying some people are homeschooled and they parents really understand and know the value of the homeschooling and they're doing it so that their kids can get a better education and this, that, and the third. But some folks are doing it out of fear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want my kid to be mixed up in this, and I don't want my kid to be mixed up in that, and Let the kid be a kid, man.
Mm-hmm.
When it's time for you to correct, as a parent, you step up and you correct.
Mm-hmm.
See, right? I done seen them girls, them PK kids come to college, and I swear to you, I'm looking like, man, hold on, man. I know she wasn't doing that at home.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, at the end of the day, man, from what I've seen and from what I've seen with my own eyes, T.I. is the best parent that can possibly be. He's trying. And for some reason, there's a pocket of folk that want to destroy and or
put this man in a bubble, you know what I mean, and talk bad about him or whatever, this, that, and the third, you know. But it's because he's a no-nonsense kind of guy. You know what I mean? You just ain't gonna hand him just anything and expect, oh, yes, some boss, or no, some boss. That's not him. So, I haven't seen the video, but in my opinion, if he was being a father, then my God, I bless him. I hope God bless him. I hope God keep him, hold him, and mold him, because the world needs to see more of that. And we as a community, as an African-American community, for those that's in an uproar, you know what the uproar might actually be, Raheem?
What's that?
Most of the folks that's in an uproar about it probably ain't never had a father.
Wow.
You thought about that?
Yeah.
They don't know. You know what I mean? They don't know realistically what that's supposed to look like. You know? So, man, see how you keep doing what you gotta do to keep your son out of jail and out the cemetery.
Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Sometimes a person got to get burned by their own fire, as unfortunate as it is or unfortunate as it sounds. Toussaint, talk to me.
You can, I think that wherever you come from, it's just me. You got to prepare your child or your child. Can't train a young man. You can forget that. If you didn't do nothing with him by the time he's 10, 11, you're in trouble already.
Yeah.
You late. You behind the game. You late. You thought all of that prior to 10 was cute. You might have a little mass murder on it.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, or here's the thing: if you shield your child and he gets out here in this real world, that's why some of them, and I hate to say this, and I don't want to put that out there, but I have to. That's why they commit suicide. Because there's households that teach their kids to be mean and nasty because they're mean and nasty.
Yeah.
So if you homeschool or you keep your child within the gated community, you got to let him know when you get out of this gated community, it's on and popping. You better believe it. You might as well get ready for it. And if I don't tell you, it's gonna be a shock. You're gonna be in for a culture shock. It's kind of like holding your kid. You ever saw a 5-year-old in a bottle?
Good Lord. No, I don't want to see that, brother. I'm sure it happens.
Well, yeah. Now, can you imagine taking a bottle from a 5-year-old and he's still wetting his pants, and you say, "Oh, that's my baby. He's just gonna take some time with him." You're gonna have to hurry up. You're gonna have to speed up the process because here you go. He's starting school. And they got some kids in school, man. These kids, I wouldn't want to be a teacher for nothing in the world. And they know, man, you know what? And I say this and I shut up. I put some kids out of vacation Bible school. Y'all go get out of here. Go come back with your mama. Because you can't act like that with me. I ain't gonna tolerate it.
Exactly.
So go on. I know we're at church, but go on. Get out of here.
Go on ahead.
Bring your parent back. And then we're gonna try a different approach.
Exactly.
He's showing something else.
Joel for Jay, talk to me, sir. Jay, you there?
Hey man, I'm sorry. I was just taking the mute button off. I'm learning the mute button now, like everybody else. Forgive me.
There you go. Talk to me, sir.
No, but this is a wonderful conversation that we're having, because again, it is bringing back memories, and I had to mute the phone anyway because I had to thank God just for sparing my life from what I've been through, because I burnt myself. And isn't it so great of a God that we have, y'all, that even when we mess up, His love is so great that He picks us up when we mess up our own
Come on.
selves before it's too late. I'm grateful. The Bible teaches us. The Bible says, I wanted to say this if you don't mind. In Proverbs 3:11, it says, "My son, despise not chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of His correction. For whom the Lord loveth, He correcteth. Even as a father, the son in whom He delighteth. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding." So again, we hear, like, just like when we were kids, Mom would say, "Don't touch that stove, it's hot. Don't touch that stove, it's hot." But you were so attracted to that stove, you touched it, and what you find out, it was hot because you got burnt.
Exactly.
Same thing here. Like, yeah, you're getting corrected, but don't despise when you're getting corrected, because it's out of love. God chastens, as my man Tucson just said, I believe, whom He loved, because He's correcting you, because your dad or your parent or older people who are wise or giving you instruction. I tell people with my accent, I tell my children, anyone who will listen, a smart person learns from his mistakes. So I think I'm pretty smart because I learned from my accent and all the things that I've done wrong. But a wise man learns from the next man's mistake.
Yeah.
So if you see what someone else did that got them in trouble, if you hear that you're doing something that got someone else in trouble, or got someone else hurt or in jail or in prison, if you will, be wise and don't do those things. A lot of people are in a state of, they don't care. They don't believe there's any consequences for anything they do until it's too late. Yeah. That's what I have to say about that.
Exactly. I want to switch over to another topic. Anybody have anything else they want to say on this topic before we move on? Cassandra. This is where I went. Cassandra, this is where I went. So I'm about to go way on out. So I want everybody there. I'm just going to see where it's going to go. But I'm going to ask you a question, and I want to hear your whole heart on it, okay? I've heard it said that sometimes, I wrote it down. I've heard it said that sometimes some of the things that happen to y'all black people are your own fault. Cassandra, how do you respond to that?
Yabba dabba dooba dabba deeba deeba dooba.
Come on, let's
now
talk.
Go ahead, get your. I'm trying to get us. Y'all got to interpret that first before I can say anything else. I mean, I put it out there already. You know, no, yeah, of course, that's with anybody. Sometimes we do, black people, white people, whoever. But yeah, black people, we do get our own. We bring our own issues to the table, just like everybody else. Anybody say they group don't, you lie. You lie. I don't care if you're Asian, you whoever. You lie. You bring problems to your own table. You know what I'm saying? So I think about what we do as far as violence in our communities. Who do we blame for that? Now we can make up stuff. We can.
Yeah.
We can make up stuff. And we do. We make up excuses why we killing each other in our own community. It be sounding good, I think, to some people, but I'd be like, you know what? Ain't nobody made you pick up a gun and shoot your neighbor or shoot your brother that live in a neighborhood with you. You can't convince me that anybody is responsible for that other than you. You're killing each other over somebody else's property, somebody's shoes, stupid stuff. Come on now. And I'm talking, I live in Atlanta, downtown Atlanta, 2 blocks from West End.
Wow.
So you don't get no more Atlanta than that. And I see it all the time. In the middle of the night, people shooting, carrying on. Come on now. Who do we blame? Who are we blaming that on now? Exactly.
Come on. Talk about it.
No, come on. We got to do better. Come on. We got to do better. We got to do better. We need our own community to do better. Think about life and what you are doing. shooting people. I told you about my friend, her and her son, some mistaken identity. Somebody shot her, and her 13-year-old son almost died in the car.
Wow.
Mistaken identity. You so trifling, you ain't even made sure you were shooting at the right person. Come on now.
Yeah.
What kind of mess is that?
Mm-hmm.
And that child and his mother almost lost their life over your stupidity.
Wow.
Yes, we do bring our own problems.
Mm-hmm. Tucson, what do you say to that? People say sometimes some of the stuff that happen to y'all black people, sometimes y'all do it to yourselves. Sometimes y'all do it to yourselves. Tucson, what do you say to that?
I ain't that y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't that type of y'all. So some people, I'm like Sandra. It's not just us. It's anybody bringing on their own self.
Mm-hmm.
Just watch the environment. You ever saw a Caucasian little boy or man or whatever you want to call them try to act like they from the hood,
Mm-hmm.
and then they meet the real dudes from the hood, and
it ain't as pretty.
now their face look. No, they ain't pretty neither. Man, you go ahead. So, but I hear what you're saying, but I think it's. I don't know if you can say that. Some of the stuff you said. Some. I'm glad you said some.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Some bring it on. Yeah, you bring it on your own self because you think that that's the way we talk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you hear the conversation now.
Let me ask you this question, Tucson.
Okay.
Would it make a difference to you? And I'm asking you this question, Tucson. Would it make a difference to you if it was somebody from our community that's saying that, or if it was somebody outside of our community that don't look like us saying that? Would that make a difference to you? Where it's coming from, the source of where it's coming from, that question or that statement?
Oh yeah, that'd be almost. I'm sorry to say it. You might be hitting them up.
Lord Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For real.
Yeah.
For real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some people can say something about me and my family that are in my family, and nobody else can do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can talk about my brother, but nobody else can.
Yeah.
And I can talk about my people and say some things about my people because I know my people.
Mm-hmm.
And the Aunt Hager's children. You ever heard of Aunt Hager's children?
No, I ain't.
Aunt Hager's children or something else. You can't tell them nothing. They the real. I'd like to say it like this: the first ship that came off the boat, first ones that came off the boat, they the real ones.
Wow.
They're the real ones. And so you can put them in. You ever saw somebody, you put them in any neighborhood and they mess it up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the ones I'm talking about.
Okay.
You give them a brand new car 6 months from now, the hubcap's gone, the motor knocking, but the radio's still playing. And it's booming loud. And letting them just throw this out here for free. It don't even run no more. But they playing the music park in the backyard.
Just jamming. Let me go.
Lord. You know they got something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me go to Badger. Badger. Same question, Badger. Person say sometimes the stuff that happened to black folks is their own fault. What do you say to that?
You want my honest answer?
I do. I'm asking Badger.
I'm going to ask that person what they mean, and depending on their response, I might actually slap them.
And why?
Like, because it's very hard to, sometimes for me, especially in those kinds of conversations, because there are some situations where, all right, Because I've talked to a lot of people to learn, to understand, to help, to fight, all those kinds of things. And I can understand some points of view because some things are individual. But in a general manner, the fact of having to still fight for a lot of wrongdoings that are still happening today, I'm really hoping that that person's just ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
That's my hope. And
So you.
hopefully they're open minded enough to learn that it's probably not the way they think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they continue from that point on, we were just talking about, having to deal with that fire. You've got a really mean right slap.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you don't think that sometimes, and we saying black people, it could be anybody, black, white, orange, polka dot, or lily stripe. You don't think sometimes a person create their own demons?
I feel in some situations, yes,
Mm-hmm.
because at some point you have to work on yourself to work through things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not being serious about hitting someone. It's just that's what would go through my head.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, just for anyone listening, I'd rather not be violent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just I'm so tired of hearing those kinds of things. And speaking in general, once you get, especially as you become an adult,
Mm-hmm.
especially over the age of 21, you have to start making certain decisions of how things in your community, in your environment affects you and how you react to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, we are all human. There is evil human beings in positions of authority that really shouldn't be in those positions of authority.
Good deal. Good deal.
So to me, a lot of it is centered around that core.
Okay.
And some people have better control over their reactions and some very much do not. And then there are those that I was speaking on earlier about the whole fire thing of they're so wrapped up in this smoke and illusions um, of our society
Mm.
that it's almost like they're brainwashed.
Okay.
But I don't want to give brainwashed that much credit,
Mm-hmm.
but that's
Wrapping
the
up at you.
appearance of it,
Good deal.
if that makes sense.
Good deal. Let me go to Kirk. Kirk, what do you say to that, man? As a person come to you and they say, man, sometimes some of these situations that happen, y'all black people, man, sometimes y'all did it to y'allself, man. Sometimes y'all did it to y'allself. It's y'all fault, y'all own fault. Curtis, what do you say to that? How do you address that?
I'm off, man.
Huh?
I'm off. Hold on. I'm off, man.
You
I don't have time for ignorance. I don't have time for ignorance, and I definitely don't have time for self-perpetuated ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time for that. That's like I'm good. That's like if you ever had a show and you had C. Owens on here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm off, man.
Mm-hmm.
Don't call me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't call me. Don't waste my time. Some people, you know what I done learned, man.
Talk to me.
And I done been to some of the best schools. Thank God. Cause there's nowhere in the world a Negro boy from East Baltimore, from Lafayette and Castle Street, who in the 11th grade was reading on a 4th grade reading level. Hold on, right hand. I'm great. Put you right here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can you hear me right here?
Yes.
Ain't no way with those credentials that I was supposed to attend the schools that I attended. Ain't no way with those credentials was I supposed to sit down at a table with a president a future president, and a possible first female president. There's no way in the world, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But God.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna tell you something, man. It's some people that's so smart that they plumb dumb.
Mm-hmm.
That they plumb dumb now.
Plumb dumb.
And
Plumb dumb.
Plumb dumb. You hear me? They're dumb as a box. A box of rocks is smarter than them, because at least the box of rocks know to cry out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You understand what I say now?
Yeah, come on.
Now, you done brought the country out. You done brought the country out of me with that one right there. Now, listen, man.
Mm-hmm.
It is some people out here that are so smart that they are the dumbest person in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And people falling for the words they saying because they have learned how to articulate. So you can be a dummy, but if you know how to say what you need to say, oh, you can make it sound like you smart.
Mm-hmm.
People like CEO, it's a few other so-called brothers out here. What's that brother name? The one that was supposed to build the school. Took all them folk money, ain't never built one school.
Oh, you talking about
what was his name?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't think his name.
The doctor.
Yeah, Omar.
Denigrating people. We find out you in the strip club making the rain.
Mm.
Man, go on with that foolishness, man. You so smart that you dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in our modern society, that's where we have come to a place. Oh, I'm sorry. I done ran over my 3 minutes. I'm sorry, right here.
Okay, but let me ask you this one question and give me a very quick answer. You don't think there's some elements of you don't think there's some elements of our community and I'm just being a question asker right now with the black on black crime and all the other things that's going on is our fault that we do that to ourselves? You don't think that could be a possibility? The sling and the drugs.
That is a really good question. I'm gonna give you a really quick answer.
Mm-hmm.
We are taught in the world of counseling that every traumatic experience has a precipitating factor.
Mm-hmm.
If you have self-induced, if you're the type of person that live your life by self-induced trauma, there's a precipitating factor to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy for us to talk about what the problem is, and you know what? In my opinion, a large part of the focus is to keep you talking about what the problem is. You know why that is?
Why is that?
Because you'll never figure out where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never figure out what the precipitating factor is. So if you never figure out the precipitating factor, guess what you'll never figure out?
Mm-hmm.
How to solve it.
Mm-hmm. Good deal.
Accountability. You're not holding nobody accountable.
Mm-hmm.
All you're doing is talking about the issue. Well, what's the precipitating factor? That's where I'm at, Raheem.
Good deal.
I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't even take up y'all time.
Stay right there, man. We're gonna come back to you. Stay right there. Let's go to Georgia J. Georgia J, what do you say to that? And we got another caller coming to you in just a second or two, caller. Georgia J, what do you say to that, man? They say sometimes some of the things that happen to y'all black people is your own fault. You ain't got to go out there and sling no drugs. You ain't got to kill each other. You ain't got to blase. And they say it's our fault. Georgia J, what do you say to that?
I would, Lord have mercy, because there's so many things on my mind. I don't want to take up all your time. It's funny that people say that, but again, I can only, because of what I believe, we reap what we sow.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible says, whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap. Now, yes, we didn't reap being over here in America from our ancestors and stuff like that. That's another part. That's another story for another day. I'm just saying now that we have opportunities to get something. You can work at McDonald's and save your money. You can do all these things. So whatever you do, you're going to reap what you do. If you're out there slinging dope, if you're out there, trying to be a gangster is going to happen to you. If you're out there shooting up people and stealing, robbing people, and trying to hurt somebody, it's going to happen to you. That's just what the Bible says. So I would say in a lot of sense, what people are saying when they say it's your fault, whether it's black people, white people, brown people, now people, whatever you do out there, you is going to come back to you. If you're happy and you nice and pleasant everything to everyone, that's going to happen to you. But if you mean, you got attitude, you want to be miserable to everybody else, you're going to get that in return. You're only getting the mirror effect of what you put out there.
Wow. Okay. Captain, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, Raheem. Good morning to the Morning Club family. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking.
Yes, sir. Asking a question. What do you say if a person say that a lot of times, a lot of things that happen to y'all black folks, y'all cause it is y'all own fault, man. Y'all cause it for yourselves. Cap, what do you say to that?
Well, dear brother, I most certainly can only imagine when you use the word y'all, that must be coming from somebody of either, well, most certainly, I come to mind the opposite race.
Yeah.
So I mean, the white folks are saying y'all.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, then we have to dismiss that being asked from a people who have helped contribute to that kind of behavior. So it's kind of difficult. You asked the question, if it came from us, it carries a little bit more validity because we do have the right to question our own behavior.
Yes.
But I just got through for training the Flint Police Department Monday. I went through down to Flint and trained the Flint Police. That's my second time. I got about 3 more visits. We trained 20 officers at a time. And you would think that what are you going down to say to them, Captain? You're dealing with the majority of the officers are white. What do you train them, Captain? Well, I've learned I don't give a training to teach them how to relate to us. I stopped that type of training years ago. But I realized that these officers come up in a culture, a police culture. And that police culture dictates their behavior. So when you see the police officers in the hood or in our community, their actions to us are the same no matter what city you go to. And you wonder, well, is they being trained that? That's the culture. In the law enforcement culture, to be kind, caring, and compassionate is weak. They can't be kind. That's weak.
Mm-hmm.
They can't be compassionate. That's weak. Because law enforcement is paramilitary. Now, I'm saying it to say this. When you talk about the behavior of black in the hood or in the community, you're talking about a culture that they come out of violence. It's the culture that dictates that kind of behavior that somebody would say, y'all. Now, you want to change the behavior, change the culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's just simple mathematics. I go in there and I take a bath. You come behind me and get in the same dirty bath water. And then Tucson get behind you and take a bath in the same dirty bath water. Then when Tucson get out, you say, man, you stink. And you wonder why. So our community is made up of dirty bath water. And that dirty bath water creates a behavior that stinks.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we do about that? The solution, in my opinion, we have to change the culture of self-destructive behavior. And if we don't, then people will keep saying y'all, and they have the right. They really do. And surely there are some of us who are responsible for making bad decisions. And in making those bad decisions, we got to own up to suffer the consequences.
Exactly. It kept
change the culture.
Exactly.
You change the behavior.
Good deal. Stay right there.
That was on my mind.
I'm gonna
Like,
circle back around, come right back to you. Let me go to Leonard. Leonard, what do you say to that, Leonard? A person say a lot of times they come to you, they say, you know, a lot of stuff that happened to y'all black folks, man, is y'all own fault. It's y'all fault. Y'all did it to yourself. Y'all out there killing each other and black on black crime, shooting each other down in the streets. Y'all the one out there selling them that crack and all that stuff to your people. You know, it's y'all fault. And they say other things. But Leonard, what do you say to that?
Well, it's true. It's true. There's
Mm-hmm.
too many stories to deny it. You look like a fool denying it. You get over your hurt feelings and you can see the truth. You might solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've never been on that bandwagon with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I get offended when people use community and black interchangeably because it's not interchangeable. Some of y'all just black. Ain't got nothing to do with where you're from. You're just black and you got bad behavior.
Mm.
You just happen to be black. So when people say the community, I make them clarify.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you mean so we can start off on the right track. Are you talking about the black community?
Mm-hmm. And they are.
Because there are some issues that are prevalent in the black community that if they accepted the truth of the matter, they could begin to work on the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got some people, they say things, and then you look at their behavior, and you realize it's you.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to turn me off real quick, mess up your life, and then start talking about the white man. Our conversation is done.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you it, because I don't want to hear it. You're delusional. You're delusional.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to make excuses for your behavior. Your people before you, your great-great-grandparents were better than you, and they were just removed from slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Just removed, walked out of slavery, and were still people of integrity, decent people, God-fearing people. So no, you don't get the opportunity to say it's because of where you come from. And go look at where you came from, because that's not where you came from.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all started acting like that, and it started being accepted, and that's why you continue to do it. I don't care how many people smoking crack. Like my mama used to say, you ain't got to smoke it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how many people selling it. You ain't got to sell it.
Yeah.
I sat right there. Pimps, prostitutes, you name it. People doing drugs, people not doing drugs. Didn't have to do nothing with color.
Mm-hmm.
It's who chose to do what. That's why I don't accept no excuses from people. Well, my daddy left me, and now you told me about what your daddy did. Well, I'm talking about what you're doing, not what your daddy did.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you don't want to accept it, don't accept it. And every generation after you will suffer the same fate.
Mm-hmm.
That's our problem as black people. Because we get this chip on our shoulders like somebody owe us something. You won't work 25 hours around here talking about where my 40 acres in the mule. Get somewhere with that and quit being ignorant. Now that's ignorant when you start talking from a place of no facts. You got people all around you and you telling them a story and a situation that they've been in exactly like you. But they like our progress.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart? Is there a point? Is there a point in what they're saying? Is it factual?
I think part of it is factual, and that's not a popular, comment to make, but we create a lot of our own problems. And yes, horrible things have happened to us. And anybody that know me know that I stand for justice and I stand against, I'm an advocate, but you are not going to tell me that it's somebody else's problem because you coming and breaking into my car and busting out my window and 20-something other old people in the senior building I live in, and this is somebody else's fault that you standing on the corner shooting each other at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm trying to sleep, and you ain't gonna tell me it's somebody else's problem that you running up on somebody and stealing their car in our neighborhood, carjacking them, and it's everybody. Man, listen, stop it, because that sounds like we're ignorant when we blame other people for our black on black crime. I don't care what they did. I'm with Leonard on this. I don't care what they did. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
How are you making it better in your community? By shooting each other? I wish Willa was on here, because when she talks about Chicago and the shootings and stuff that she hears about and deals with people she know on a daily basis, come on now. That is painful. I'm telling y'all, at any given night, I'm hearing gunshots right outside my window almost.
Wow.
What is that?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no white people doing that in my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm not. No, I'm done.
Wow. Kurt, talk to me, brother. Toussaint, coming to you next. Find your mute button. Toussaint, coming to you next. Kurt, talk to me.
I hear what Sis and Leonard is saying. I hear it. I see it. But I can't help but think about that racist that's sitting by and hearing the conversation. Right? I can't help but think about redlining 2.0 that I'm watching go on right here in my city right now on an extremely massive scale. We have become what has been created. And I hear, I hear, I hear black on black crime. But me personally, I don't think you can talk about black on black crime without talking about white on white crime. Because the crime statistics shows that on the other side of that fence, it is 10 times worse. But see, that's never relayed to the general public.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, God, no, you can't put that out. No. That don't make us look right. I hear it, though. I also hear where when we speak on accountability, in my personal opinion, we are the only race in this country that hold our people accountable. And we're saying it. You can go down to the jail and you can see it in full color. We are the only people that consistently hold our own accountable for their ill-gotten gains. I prided myself, and God has blessed me as an actor to play some really powerful people. One of the people that I have played, one of the people that have been cast to play, my God, we was talking about the brother earlier because the brother got the role in the film, T.I.
Mm-hmm.
When he played Frank's nephew, Frank Lucas's nephew. And we can say any number of things of what we want to say about Frank Lucas. But one of the most powerful statements that I heard Frank say out his own mouth before his passing was, you know what? I got tired of them coming in our neighborhood making all that money, man.
Mm-hmm.
I got tired of them beating us over the head, taking 75% of our earnings. They doing the same thing. I got to pay them 75% of my money that I done made doing the same thing they was doing, and they ain't doing nothing. See, I get it. Yeah, we need to check our own. But all at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and paint a picture like we need to check our own when there's a puppet master in the background dangling strings. You understand? Like, I get it. We done came off the beaten path. We done get hits in our backside, and they just moving the chains. And as long as we continue to address our issues with the one that's chained and not the one that's moving the chains, ain't nothing gonna change. It's just my belief. Nothing is going to change. These boys selling dope in these communities, ain't not nan one of them got a boat, a plane, a ship, none of that to fly this stuff in. I'm gonna land this plane right here, Raheem. And I know I'm over my 3 minutes, but I'm gonna land this plane right here. When I was growing up, man, I had the opportunity to sit around some real true to life kingpins. And could have went that route, but I chose to go a different route, right? And I remember I was sitting at a table, and it's like 3 kingpins there, and they talking. I'm a young dude, I'm a runner, but I'm a young dude. They like me because I listen. And I remember hearing one of them say they was talking about a big drug bust that had happened out on 95. And I remember hearing one of them say, "Oh man, that wasn't nothing, man. What you talking about, shorty? That wasn't nothing, man. You know what I mean?" And one of the other dudes say, "What you mean?" He say, "Look, man, they got 5. They pulling 5 trucks on that bus right there, right?" He said, "Hell," he said, "My fault." He said, "Man, my plug came in through the harbor. My plug came in off the ship. That was giveaway money." So basically,
wrap it up,
what
Curtis.
he was saying, I'm ending right here. What he was saying was they gave up 5 53-foot trailers of cocaine so that 10 doggone Connex containers can come in through the harbor. That was nothing.
Sacrifice.
I'm watching it one day, Raheem. One day, I swear to God, I hope you come up here to see me so I can ride you around this city. When I ride you around this city, the only thing you're gonna say is, "You know what? This just looks like a clean Beirut."
Wow. Stay right there, Curtis. You got to keep it moving. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother? Toussaint, you there? Leonard, talk to me. I'll come back to Toussaint. Talk to me, Leonard.
Talk to you exactly about what as it relates to
what
people and their personal choices.
Yes, about what's going on and how they can say. Speak to me about what Curtis just said. He was saying that there are certain things that go into play in regards to what we're talking about right now. How do you feel about that?
That's a whole different lifestyle. That's a whole different play. If that's the game you like to play, play it. But I didn't live in that world. I was not part of that world. That's what people was doing around me. I didn't even get into, I tell people this way, I never wanted to be a bad guy. Ask yourself that. Just that question.
Thanks for the likes, y'all.
Do you want to be a bad guy? Yes or no? It ain't about nobody else. Do you want to be a bad guy?
Please share the broadcast. Share the broadcast.
Because that's the only question really there is. I let people live the life they're gonna live, and then I separate myself from them if I don't approve. Now they can keep doing what they're doing, but it has no influence over me because I have a life. What I look like sitting there talking about, I did this because Tony told me to. Well, who the hell is Tony?
Hey.
They got so many people, friends I don't have that's been buried for doing stupid stuff. I don't feel for them. because we watched it. We talked about it. We had all the bad examples. We knew what not to do. But some people chose to do it anyway. Despite their upbringing.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
All of that.
Leonard, why do you think that is?
Because they wanted to. They chose it. They desired it. Every person in BS right now that I know coming up talked about doing it. They flashed in front of each other. Look what I got. Look what I got. Look how I got it. Look what man, you need to get out here and do this. Hey, you want to work with me? They was recruiting just like the military. I chose the military. But I understand those people who choose life of crime because they desire that. I have family members right now, all of my life, in and out of jail, because that is what they do. They have no plans to change, and it ain't over till they in that dirt. Because that's their lifestyle. I'm not making excuses for them. Who cares who brought the dope in? If they didn't, then maybe your behind would eventually become enterprising enough, like Mr. Lucas, to bring it in yourself. You would have linked up with the right people to make it available to your community. I don't care how many drugs you sit in front of me, or how many guns you sit in front of me. I couldn't even afford it.
Wow, good deal, good deal.
But that's why I get involved, because I couldn't afford the cost, and I wasn't about to risk my life for it. Nothing more, nothing less.
Good deal, good deal. Stay right there for a second, Leonard. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. And I'm sure you all could tell everybody have their own take on this part of the conversation that we're talking about right now. Everybody have their own take on it. Everybody feel the way that they feel. We're not here to give anybody their opinion. We're here to listen. We're here to have a conversation. We'd love to have you as a part of it as well. Give us a call, 508-924-3521. And as we're talking right now, some of the things that happen to U.S. Black people, some of the things that a person says this is not me talking, this is somebody else saying this, but some of the things that happen to U.S. Black people is your own fault. You did it to yourselves. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree? What is on your heart concerning that? Badger, talk to me.
You know, as a half-blood on here with white skin, it's interesting because I hear the comments of Curtis and I hear the comments of Leonard. And then being an outsider looking in, right? I've got to weigh both perceptions, both opinions, right? To if I'm going to draw any conclusion, if I'm going to be a part of any of the conversations, or anything of that nature, right? Now, I know when it comes to me, I can't speak about the Black experience. But I can speak on some of the indigenous experiences and some of the being white experience. A lot of times, speaking from the white experience, we're on the outside looking in at all of these other races struggling, right? And all these issues that are going on. A lot of it we're not given the full story. So there are those of us that actually do the research, that are willing to have these conversations, that aren't so sensitive or choose to be ignorant of what's going on, to have a better understanding and help if allowed. Because there's also those groups of people that don't want help from someone outside of their race. So I see where Leonard's coming from. I also understand where Kurt's coming from. And to me, that's where, now this is an outside looking in, right? The things I've learned from counseling, the things I've learned being a mental health advocate, my personal experiences, and things of that nature. There's a lot of similarities that we're all fighting.
Mm-hmm.
We're all fighting an evil force that don't want us to get along. We're fighting an evil force that doesn't use the money that our tax dollars are providing
Who's
in an
winning?
efficient manner.
If we're in this fight, Badger, you looking at the whole situation. Who's winning the fight?
The evil people. That's what it's that's my perception.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that because I'm seeing the white people fight the black people. I'm seeing the black people fight the black people. I'm seeing the white people fight the white people, and so on and so on. It always seems to boil down to the two most fighting races in our country are the whites and the blacks.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many similarities of what's being fought over. It's absolutely insane. There was a conversation I was having with Leonard, and I also touched on it with when I've spoken with Kurt off air. Of there are communities that teach young white kids that they have less privilege than other races, which teaches animosity, teaches anger, teaches envy, and all other things. It instills that in them. So as they grow up, until they learn different, they have that in their head. So the way they look at situations is going to be very skewed
Mm-hmm.
until they learn to know better.
Good deal. Good deal. Badger, hold on for a second. You're 3 minutes about a minute ago, but I want to keep this thing going. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Raheem.
Yes.
Hey, Raheem. I wanted to add on to that. This is Don. I'm more on the side of Leonard because it is a personal choice. But what Obedi was saying just then about, you grow up and you're taught that, you have less privilege because you come from a certain demographic. That's kind of just the life of it until you hit that fact. And this where's the clash of Curtis and Leonard kind of meet about, you could choose that route all you want to.
Mm-hmm.
You could choose good, you could choose to be an individual, you could choose to separate yourself. But until life hits you and remind you that they see you just as any other black person or with bigotry, and say, hey, we're going to disenfranchise you. We're going to slap the book at you, even though you did the same thing that Sally or John did. We're going to give you 3 times worse or 5 times more. So I think the systemic, bigotry inside of our justice system is still there. And, black kids are taught that, hey, be very, very respectful, utmost respect to your authority, utmost respect to, people that have power, because you never know what kind of ill intent are behind their judgments, right? It's been a historical fact that we've been, judged differently than our counterparts.
Yeah.
And that in itself has kind of caused a ripple effect into the black community. It's been, time and time again where it's like, oh, well, hey, you say a certain thing or you talk a certain way, then we're going to look at you different. But not only that, you could be a Leonard walking down the street, minding his own business. Leonard is a powerful brother. He knows better. He's very intelligent. He has the book of knowledge inside of his head. So you can't come at him with any kind of clash of information that's going to make him feel inferior or less than until the opponent decides that I don't like your intelligence. I don't like that you think that you're better than me. And then you get into a position to where you could get pulled over for a traffic ticket. And it's just your lucky day that someone comes and, have that feeling about themselves. And I want to show my authority. I want to exert myself. Now, if Leonard gets out of that situation, yeah, he can make that person live in hell and get him to lose his badge. But what if he doesn't make it out of that situation? What if they
Wow.
say, today is the day that I show you who's in power, who's in
Mm-hmm.
charge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's a very nasty unbalance or song and dance that we do. As Buddy just said, like, there's a lot of fight, but don't get it twisted. There is a ripple effect of, you know, a broken system that is in effect that we all hereby, and we teach our kids accordingly to make sure that they understand it's unfair out here. Do the right thing as much as possible, be great, but just know that, you know, if you get into the wrong situation, it could be your last.
Exactly. Wow, it's a lot tied into that, and that's why I wanted to talk about this thing right here, man, because it's so many different levels on this thing, and I knew everybody wasn't going to agree. Everybody gonna have their own stance on it, and so but it's real, but it's absolutely real. This is a real topic. This is something that's really going on today, and you have real elements out there that want to keep, like Badger was saying, to a certain degree, want to keep people separated. But Don, let me do this. I know, Don, you got something else going on right now. What you got going on, brother?
Yeah, you know, we're advocating for my mother right now. She just had a situation with her house. A tree fell on it. Unfortunately, she was uninsured. She's on disability and had a lot of battles in life. So what we're doing is advocating for her. Even though she has options to move with us, she is just rooted to her hometown and whatnot.
Yeah.
We're in Atlanta, so we're working on getting her place. But in the meantime, we're advocating to rebuild for us. We are doing a raffle to raise money. So, you know, you just don't have to give without receiving, but also it's going to a good cause. The raffle information is posted on my Facebook page and my Instagram page. If you all want to share and support, go to facebook.com/DCrucial1. That's D, the letter D, crucial, all one word, number 1. And also on Instagram as DCrucial. The raffle is for a 55-inch smart TV and some Beat Studio headphones, wireless. So there's also a GoFundMe associated with, but I'm not pushing that as much because I really want people to get something out of it, more so to, you know, help her. But yeah, long story short, that's what we're doing, and I hope you guys be able to go out and support.
Good. Share that on my Facebook. Put that on my Facebook page. I'm gonna share it on all my pages as well. But, you know, just put it on my page. Then when I get done, I make sure I share it so everybody can see. Anybody have any questions about what Don's doing? And I think it's a great cause, man. I really do. And does anybody have any questions?
I have a question if you don't mind. It's Triple J.
Go ahead. Your phone is very low, brother. Talk right into your phone. We can barely hear you.
My apologies. Can you hear me?
Yes, much better.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. I had it on my speaker.
Okay.
If you don't want to be in a raffle, you just want to have if you just want to give a donation for this, is there a Cash App or anything that we can give?
Yeah. The Cash App is $ Donald Walters. There's also a GoFundMe page.
Okay.
I'll give that to Raheem as well. Yeah, so we'll have those two available. Well, they're active now, so if you want to Cash App a donation, it's $ Donald Walters. So that's DONALDWALTRS. And if you want to get any more information as well to share or any other material, it's 229-591-0244. We do understand that it's going to be a long journey and we don't have any expectations. We appreciate all and any that is provided or donated. So truly appreciate it. I do plan on continuing doing additional raffles throughout the year and months to come, including free DJ services, a lot of special effects and stuff like that, and even computer literacy and educational classes. Free to join and donation oriented. So look for that.
Okay. And I can personally vouch for this brother, man. As a matter of fact, when you come to a lot of my events that you come to, this is the DJ that's there. This is the DJ that's there. So great job. He does a great job every time. Not once or
Is
twice, every time.
is
Yes.
your mom in a rural area or considered a rural area?
Yeah, we've looked at the Georgia Community Affairs programs, and we're working with the local government to see what sort of grant she can qualify for. Some of those starts at the beginning of the year. So we're looking into those programs, but we don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket. There's
Look at the USDA.
stuff like that. But yeah, we've looked into several of those programs, and we're working through some of them now. And
Have you checked the USDA?
cross. Sorry.
Have you checked the USDA?
Yeah, that's one of the programs that we've applied for. They are currently back to about April with their applications. So she has an application in there, the 502 and the 504 grant. One is a grant, one is a loan. And that's the USDA Rural Development Program. And then there's the Georgia Affairs one for their site, which can grant the local community funds to rebuild houses and stuff like that, which is a really cool program. It's not marketed a whole lot, but we've done a lot of diligent research, and I will say we don't have high hopes for it, but we're just putting our hats in the bucket, and we'll see what comes of it. But we're just not we're just not going to wait around for it.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody else? Okay, good deal. Let me go to Cap. Cap, what's on your heart? There's a lot of things going on with the topic that we was talking about earlier. And some people really believe as though it is our fault. We created these demons for ourselves. Cap, what do you say to that?
Raheem, everybody gave a piece of the puzzle, and I think that's sufficient. I don't have no more to say about that. I just think everybody, whoever we're trying to appease by answering that question, I think everybody did a great job in giving their opinion and their compassion about the answer. I have no more to add to that, dear brother.
Okay, good deal. Cassandra, you there?
Yeah.
What's on your heart? Talk to me.
Yeah, no, well, those that know me know that I fight very hard for our people. But you really can get discouraged sometimes when you live in an environment where you see our people doing the damage. And I hate having to say that, but even the Word of God says that the truth will make you free. So if it's the truth, it's the truth. We do a lot of damage in our own communities. Are there mitigating factors that may come into play? Yeah, but nobody, I'm still with Leonard on this. Nobody makes you get out there and shoot another black man. Nobody makes you rob somebody. Nobody makes you, I'm doing it because the white man, Miss Cassandra, I broke into your car. I busted out your window that you have to pay for on a fixed salary. I did that, Miss Cassandra, because a white man mistreated my grandmother, and my great-great-grandmother was a slave, and they don't treat me right. So I'm going to bust out your window. I'm going to break into your apartment. I'm going to shoot outside your window at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. What the hell? That sounds ignorant. That sounds ignorant. I'm sorry. It makes us sound stupid. I'm sorry, but I'm telling you, man, and nobody fights harder than me for our people. But you get tired of the same old crap over and over again. No, man. I live this every day. I'm not.
Good deal.
I'm sorry. I'm done.
Good. Toussaint, you back with us? Toussaint, you there?
Yeah, I mean the mute button.
Talk to me.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't let nobody come to me with no scenario putting me in the box with nobody. So when you say y'all, I'd be like almost like Cassandra, like who the heck is y'all? First of all, and get away from me with that stupid stuff, because I ain't got nothing to do with that. Because I make sure that don't come to my yard, whatever that is that you consider y'all. Because don't bring it to me. Every once in a while, you got to be an individual. Most of the time, it's best that you be an individual. You talk about this, we gonna do what? Because some don't want to. So I don't socialize with that environment, period. I'll never include myself with folks that's negative, that do crazy stuff. No, that's not a we. That's not a y'all. That's them.
Yeah.
Whoever they are. You hear what I'm saying? Because some people, just like the first topic that we had, bring it on yourself.
Yeah.
Because you don't listen to nobody. Nobody can tell you nothing. No advice is good, but your own. Who listens to their own advice? Not many people. They give it, but they don't take it.
Yeah.
So the advice that you give is best for you. It took me a long time to try that. You know that? It took me a long time to take my own advice.
Wow.
Giving advice to others.
It's easier.
And passing it out like it's free cheese. And wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
So now sometimes we got to take our own advice. We want to advise. I don't have no advice for other people in other neighborhoods. I don't have no advice for other people's children. I tell you what I do with mine. And if that works for you, well, you might want to try it. If it don't work, we'll keep moving. But don't come to me with no y'all. Hey, y'all come again with that. Who's y'all? So that can be a frustrating subject. I mean, somebody come to you with that and it's negative. That's already. I'll be like, back away from me, please.
Yeah.
Because then we don't have a problem. So
wow.
I don't include myself with other folks.
There you go.
I don't do that. No.
That's good. That's good. Joetta, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
All right. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. Good to have you asking a question. What do you say if a person come to you and they say this right here? Some of the things that happen to y'all black folks is your own fault. Y'all the one out there black on black crime. Y'all the one out there slinging that crack. Y'all the one out there tearing up your neighborhoods. Y'all the one that blase. It's y'all fault. Jordan, what do you say to that?
No, it's our own fault because you don't have to tear up your own neighborhood. And that's the reason why. I mean, I don't stay around my people. I stay out here with the YT people because I know my neighborhood is going to stay clean. I know they're not going to try to be breaking in my house or breaking in my car. And it's a shame that our people have lowered themselves to that because they could do the same thing that the YT people do. And they just make us look bad out there killing each other and the girls walking around half naked with the 6-inch eyelashes and the pink purple hair and the booty shorts hanging out. I mean, it's real ghetto-fied. And they make us look bad as a nation. See, I look at life like this. It's two different type of melanated people. You have your black people that thinks with some intelligence, and then you have your ninjas. I don't want to use the word nigger, so I just say ninjas that just don't give a damn.
Hey.
So okay, put me around the black people that have some integrity and some cleanness about themselves, and I ain't got to worry about them breaking in my house, then put me around the ninjas. It's two different people you're dealing with. And then so the Bible also says.
Let me ask you this question, Joetta.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. And you say there's two different groups. But isn't both of those groups in everybody's family?
Yes. Sometimes you even got to separate yourself from your family.
Okay.
The Bible says, I come to separate mother from father, father from son, mother from daughter. Okay? The Bible says that too. Okay, so if some of your children turned out to be ninjas, you may have to separate yourself from them. You know, the Bible says that these children in the last days will become a burden to us. Are they a burden? I pose that question. They are. They're a burden. They don't even want to work. They just want to beg from you and sit in the house and make babies that they're not going to take care of, smoke weed, and play games. And actually, weed is the new crack, because there's something in that weed that's addicting, that's making them do the things they do, laziness, and just want to beg. So weed is the new crack cocaine. Everybody's smoking it.
Wow.
Okay? And there's chemicals in it. It's not the same weed that was back in the day. Okay? So something's going on with that too. You know, but yeah, these children today are horrible. I mean, the senior citizens are scared of them. Up here in Ohio, it was going around where older senior citizens was getting out the car to trying to get their groceries in the house. These young boys would come up and pop them in the face, hit them like they was hitting a man, just to take their purse and their groceries. Now, who does that to a senior citizen?
Okay, stay right there.
You know, okay.
No, yeah. I know your time was about to run out, but Cap, I know you said you didn't want to have anything. You didn't have anything else to say to that. But what do you think of her stance of what she just said about the separation?
That's what needs to happen.
Hold on.
I agree with that.
Hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. Cap, you there? Oh, I think we might have just lost Cap. Leonard, talk to me.
As you see, a lot of people know the truth, but for some reason, you have to understand, you have to make the change. We give people so much leeway to constantly destroy things. And we give them excuses now for why they did what they. We give them the excuse. They know why they doing what they doing. It's because they don't care. Like Ms. Joanne just said. Act like y'all don't know people that don't care. That's what blows me on this station. You act like you don't know people don't care. There are some people that believe that if it wasn't for white folks, black folks would do no wrong. Do you hear me? So you have to know the company that you keep. I speak to different communities on different levels of the master plan. How we all gonna get back in touch in relationship with our Creator to the point where we truly embrace do unto others as you have them do unto you. I am because you are. You don't just automatically, you can't make a deal with the devil. If you get black out of your mind, wrong is wrong and wicked is wicked. It don't belong in those same columns as black and white. But if you deal with them that way, you're going to be constantly unsuccessful.
Wow.
You know what I had to sacrifice? Everybody black can't be my friend. I got to pick friends that are going in the same direction that I'm trying to get to. I have those same friends today, and we hold each other accountable. We were determined back then not to be those statistics. We're the same little boys that don't grew up now. We in our 50s with families of our own. Have we stood around on the corner drinking? Some of us have. Smoke, some of us have. Game, some of them have. But there's a tight circle that some people can't get into. I can vouch for people. I can't vouch for everybody that's black. And I wasn't going to be sitting in groups of people making bad decisions like I couldn't help myself because I'm black. That was BS. If you my friend and we was kids, I got to invite you to church with me. Because that's what we do. That's our way. You can't call yourself me and you in that community if that's not what you do. There are so many different types of black people.
Wow.
But everybody want to lump you into one thing so they can give you this magic cure, this, that, and the other. Look how far it took for us to get. I still don't understand the black ain't beautiful. When was black not beautiful?
Wow. Hold on. Great question, Leonard. Great question. Let me go to Kurt. Kurt, what's on your heart, brother? We got a lot of different angles coming at us right now, man. What do you say about that? The separation, the upper class black against the, how you say, the ninjas, and not want to be around the ninjas. What do you say to that, Kurt?
I say the Willie Lynch letter. That's what I say.
Wow.
I say the Willie Lynch letter. You know, we can, you know, this conversation got me thinking about the movies that I watched, because it's not. Let me just tell y'all what it sounds like to me. I'm probably wrong for even thinking this, but it sounds to me like we're nuking crime and maladaptive behavior to one particular cultural group of people. And if I go with that premise, then I have to accept the fact that it's something that has been done over my lifetime, and I'm 51 years old. And I had a chance to live at the very, very bottom of society, and I've had the chance to live almost at the top of society. God has blessed me to be that kid. And you know what? When I was selling dope, I made more money at the top of society than I ever made when I lived at the bottom. You know what? I saw more spouse abuse when I was living at the top of society than I ever saw at the bottom. You know what? I saw more maladaptive behavior by children at the top of society than I ever saw at the bottom. I think sometimes we get caught in this vacuum where we speak on our experiences from what is being shown to us and what we're seeing with the naked eye, without making the adjustment of what the eye can't see, but what we know exists. Or what the eye sees immediately as opposed to what the eyes have seen over a course of time. But when I hear that, I can't help but think about the Willie Lynch letter.
Wow.
It's another means to separate a group of people from a sect. Because the truth be told, if all of us came together and spoke against the very same classism and racism that is perpetuated in a lot of the ill wills that we have would be completely destroyed.
Wow.
Good
deal.
There's supposed to keep us separate.
Good deal.
There's an initiative in that, man.
Exactly. Don, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, Tucson or me?
about and Marine had this slogan, had this saying, "No man left behind." You know, naturally mean no man and no woman left behind. Are we willing to leave a certain part of our community behind because they don't have the mindset that we have?
Nah, I think, you know, a positive person is a positive person, and a negative person is a negative person.
Mm-hmm.
But there are different levels of intellect, right? So I've had some friends who knew from the jump, or like kindergarten, that they wanted to be like a truck driver.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, he worked at a plant, and he was like, I don't want you to work in a plant. I don't want you to work with your hands so much where you don't know if you're going to get laid off and stuff like that. So he pushed us more of an academic route.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend who was like content with being a truck driver, as we progressed in years, I could see that, you know, his grades wasn't as great as mine, but they were okay. But he was also a really good dude. Like, he was a good friend. He was somebody who had your back and generally didn't have any ill will towards anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we click. That common denominator is being a good person.
Yes.
Right. The intellectual difference, all right, you can see some separation there, and you go your separate routes. But at the end of the day, you support people who want to get to a goal. You support people who are positive, and people who are, you know, trying to do good, you know, for themselves and others, you know. But there are, like, on that other side where there's negative people who, you know, maybe they had a different upbringing. Maybe they grew up in this house where they had a broken home and didn't have a whole lot of resources, and started making, you know, very bad decisions. And as time progressed, you know, sometimes you kind of lose them, right?
Yeah.
There's a certain point in life that everyone has where they're gone. They're just about gone for good. There's only so much you can do without losing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to stand on that one premise. You cannot save somebody else if you don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
So I had to make dang sure I could, you know, swim really well before I tried to help anybody. And even in that scenario, because life be lifing, I generally help those who try to help themselves.
Mm-hmm. So basically, what I'm hearing you say is, you could give people apple off your fruit tree, but don't dig up the whole tree and give them the whole tree.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. Teach them how to fish.
Yeah.
To a good extent. Like, even the stuff that I'm doing now, like, I'm doing general classes. It's give and take. It's me saying, I want to help myself. You're welcome to join me if you want to help yourself. Right.
Yeah.
I just, you know, my job paid for a $3,000 class.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through that class, that boot camp, took the certification, got the certification. Did I stop there? No. I wanted to say, hey, there are people that are not as fortunate as me that have their jobs pay for education or pay for training or whatnot. I'm going to do a Zoom, and hey, I'm going to put it on for display and give them tidbits out of it, right? Certain things I can't give because of copyrights, but there are certain elements from that class that I can share with the world, and I want to bring people up. So
exactly.
In posting, I casted a very big net. Maybe I only caught 2 or 3 fish, but those 2 or 3 fish are important to me.
Absolutely.
Like, hey, you guys said you wanted to listen, you wanted to learn, you wanted to do. If you show that interest, I'll do whatever it takes to get it to you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my point on it.
It's good deal, good, and appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Joy for Jay, you there? Joy for Jay, you there? Joy for Jay.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here, my friend.
Talk to me. What's on your heart, brother?
Well, I was just thinking as we're talking, and then we're dealing with this issue. I mean, again, you know me. I'm trying to get more in the word than I am now. And the Bible tells us in Ephesians that we're not wrestling against flesh and blood. And that's what I would tell people. Listen, it's not a black thing, a white thing, or any kind of ethnic thing. The problem is sin. The whole problem is sin. We were born in sin, shaped into iniquity, and we don't want to shake that that thing that we were born in. We don't want to do right. Some people don't want to do right. Even the Bible says, well, Paul said, when I would do good, evil was there.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I want to do good, evil's right there. So we have that choice. We're just making the wrong choices. Some of us are. I thank God that I'm able now to make better decisions, because before, when I was making the wrong decisions, I was leading myself to death.
Yeah.
Thanks be unto the Most High that now I'm trying to live right. I'm trying to do the right things. I'm putting out great energy, if you will, so that those things that I dish out now is coming back to me, instead of me dishing out death with the drinking and smoking and the partying and the sleeping around and lying. Now I'm being happy. I'm trying to encourage someone. I'm trying to, be just that light that Christ told us to be, so that I get the same thing in return. So that makes me victorious.
Exactly.
And so I think that it's not a black-white thing or the color issue. It's a sin issue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I have to say about that.
Good deal. Cassandra, talk to me. We're going to get out of here. Talk to me, Cassandra.
Yeah, I agree with everything that everyone has said. I want so much to see, everybody, and especially our people, realize that we need to be the change that we want to see. We have to be that change agent. I'm not waiting for any white person to come in my community and make the changes that need to be done. I believe we have to do the work ourselves. They have to fix whatever's going on in their communities. We have to fix what's going on in our communities, and we can't stand back and be afraid. We are so afraid of our own people, and we have a reason to be afraid of some of them. I'll be totally honest. But until we get out there and try to do the work, I love what Cap does. He's with peacekeepers. They go out, they talk to these young people in the community about violence and, different things. That's amazing. I don't have any group like that working in my community. I go out, I talk to young people on my own. When I see them doing things wrong, I say something. I don't be quiet. And, they'll cuss you out. Maybe I've never had one cuss me out yet. No group that I've ever approached when they were doing things wrong. But we can't expect for other people to do that in our community. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
You got to speak about.
Okay, somebody got.
I would have had him on earlier.
So why you got him on now?
There we go. Okay, had to mute somebody. Got a little conversation going on in the background. But listen, it's been a great broadcast, man. This has been Way Out Wednesday. We covered a lot today. And I want to make sure that you all have an opportunity or a chance to, if you miss any piece or part of this broadcast, there's a way you can see it again. Leonard, tell them how to do it.
If you did not get a chance to hear this show, it's in Turkish. Log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3:00 Eastern today.
Good deal. Curtis, you still with us? Curtis, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here, right?
Curtis, if you don't mind, brother, can you pray us out? I believe you got a word in you. Pray us out, brother.
Oh, man. With all hearts and minds open, let's go to the throne of grace. Most gracious and heavenly Father, we come humbly as we can be. Some standing, some kneeling, and some just open with their minds fixed on you. God, we come this day not asking you for anything, but thanking you for all things. Father, we come thanking you for the breath that you breathed in our body this morning so that we could get up, we could walk, we could talk. Father, we thanking you for the knowledge that you have bestowed in our minds. Father, we thanking you for the compassionate hearts that you have given us to guide us and lead us throughout the day. Father, we thanking you for the positive and clear message that you have brought forth in this conversation. God, we thanking you, Father. We thanking you for all the things that you have done, all the things that you will do, and all the things that you are doing. Father, for we know without you, nothing is possible. God.
Sorry about that.
God, we thanking you for the message and the words that you have laid on the song that tells us when to just let your word be your word.
Let your deed be your deed. Let your knowledge be your knowledge. God, we asking that you just go forth before either of us get to where we're trying to go. God, we asking that you protect us. Father, we asking that you go before, you go after, and you go during. God, we asking that you let your light shine within us so that those who are in darkness can see. God, we asking that you just continue to keep your healing hand on all of those, all of us who are going through some kind of medical issues and find sometimes that we don't know what else to do or where else to turn. God, we asking that you just continue to watch over us. Continue to bless us, continue to hold us, continue to mold us, and keep us close to your bosom. In the mighty name of Yahshua, Jesus the Christ, I say this prayer. We can all say amen.
Amen. Mm-hmm. Anybody got anything? And no, we ain't put no time limit on. We ain't put no time on the prayer, y'all. We ain't put no time on the prayer. I want to let you know we ain't put no time on the prayer. I want to let you know that now. But
I was gonna say, I'll be doggone right here. You didn't put time on
man. He did it to the right person, Kurt, because Kurt wasn't gonna stop no way.
Kurt wasn't gonna stop.
Look where you at.
Hey, Leonard, it was gonna be Tuesday. He was still gonna be praying. It's still gonna be Tuesday. It's gonna be Tuesday all over again. We're gonna. But listen, anybody have anything they want to say, Kurt? I appreciate you, brother. Anybody have anything they want to say before we get out of here?
I would like to add right here. Yeah. I'm so glad to hear Joyful Jay today.
Yes.
And I often think of his perspective and the other brother that was speaking. He pretty much
turn your phone off and turn it back on.
Plan has been.
Yeah.
And that's a brother. That's a true brother that I can call a part of my community because he's about the same thing that I'm about.
Exactly. Exactly. Good deal. Anybody else have anything else you want to say? Well, with that being said, it's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:04. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Talk to you tomorrow morning. God say the same. Give somebody some love and truth. They would appreciate it, and I'm sure that you will as well. Have a great day. Love you all.